book during a 30 minutes metro ride just by striking up a conversation. That's the networking at its best. Sneha, it's all yours.
Thank you so much. Is everybody able to hear and see me well? Can I just see a bunch of reactions so I know all's good?
Yeah.
Okay,
Seen and heard.
perfect. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly see if I can share my screen, and then we can get started. Please let me know when you can see my screen. Can you all see my slide?
Yes, yes.
Okay, awesome. So we've been hearing since the morning on why LinkedIn is important, why identifying your voice is important, the need for having a brand presence, something that people can remember, will remember. We understand all of this is very important, right? So now that we've got the premise established, let's delve a little deeper. Let's understand how to actually do it. And so I've been listening to I've been seeing the questions in the group. I've had a couple of you reach out on LinkedIn before this. And I think a lot of the conversations have always been around, so it's great listening to all of this, but does it really work? Or now that I've listened to people who've done it, what can I do to get in their spaces? Because for example, Jamana is really senior. Or same, Raghuram's really senior. So, what does one do? Is there like a certain amount of something that a person has to do before which they can reach that stage? So I'm here to talk to you about all of that. And so again, there is no very specific mention on, sorry, that was just my mom. So yeah, we're doing it from the same house. So she just popped in here. But yes. So I'm gonna move to the next. Sorry, there's just a lot of chat, so I'm gonna close all of that and move to full screen. Great. So let's start with something very simple, right? So we've been talking about where we have to build our brand and the ways we have to do it, but why does one need a personal brand? So in today's world, with the way everything is going on, with the amount of AI, with the amount of everything being virtual and digital, it is almost, it goes without saying that all of us are being perceived at every point in time. No matter what we're doing, no matter what we're saying, where we're walking, how we're saying what we're saying, and actually even what we're not saying and not doing, all of it is being perceived. So if every individual interaction and action of ours is being perceived, there's got to be something we do about it. Because let's understand this. A brand is nothing but the way the world outside perceives us. For all of us, when we think about, say, Cadbury, the first thing that we're all going to think about is purple. We're going to think about their distinctive font, and we're going to think about chocolates. We're not going to think about anything else. Of course, they have a lot of other products. They've got Choco Bakes, they've got hot chocolate powder, they've got a lot of things. But the first brand established for us is chocolate in purple color, which is their brand color. And likewise, the very same thing exists for all of us as people. Of course, not color, but then we're going to talk about individually what each of us do, what kind of skills we bring to the table, the kind of, let's say, what we can offer, what are we known for, and when we walk into a room, virtual, real, what is the first thing that a person remembers about us? That's what a brand is. And like I've said, since we're all being perceived, irrespective of something we do or not do, it is imperative right now for us to take the reins in our own hands and say, okay, if this is the case, then I have to put some effort into building my brand very intentionally so that the way people are perceiving me is something I want people to perceive me as. So I might as well do it the way I want to do it. So now we'll get in the real question. Does it really work, right? So we've been talking about all of these very happy, rainbowy things for so long, saying, oh, this works and this happens, and you can make a brand and then you will get known. Let's take a very simple story, a story of how the brand called Sneha Ganesh was built. So I'm all of 23 years old. I got on LinkedIn like 3.5 years back. And I got on LinkedIn like anybody else, completely new to the platform. But everyone was talking about LinkedIn. So I said, great, like if I'm on WhatsApp and Instagram, why not LinkedIn? And that's how I got onto the platform. But I will tell you the story of how the brand Good Sneha Ganesh was built. So when I first started posting on LinkedIn, I started posting on LinkedIn with the sole intention that, okay, let's just like, I'm doing something in life, let's just put it out there. So I've loved writing for the longest time. So I used to write blogs a couple of years ago. And I started posting those blogs on LinkedIn just so that, people can see it. And I didn't do any active networking. I didn't use hashtags. I didn't do anything. Like it was just there. I went and I made a post. And two people used to like every post of mine, my mom and my aunt. I probably had 10 connections and 2 likes on every post of mine. And I'm pretty sure they did it because I bullied them into it. So that's how I started my LinkedIn journey. Eventually, as I moved into college, I started realizing that I wanted to do more with this platform, but I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to do with the platform. So I always enjoyed being on stage. And when I was in college, I started going up on stage to deliver a lot of training sessions, deliver a lot of workshops and master classes. The very first picture that you see on this slide is me from my college days. That was one of our rooms in college, and I was delivering a session over there. And that's how I started. And I said, okay, if I'm anyways just posting whatever I'm doing in my life, if I'm delivering something in college, let's go post it. And that's how I started. So since I always enjoyed writing, it was not something that I really thought about a lot. So I would put up some content. I'd say, hey, I went up on stage today and I did this. That's all. I did this probably in 6 months. I probably delivered about 5 to 6 sessions. I posted about all these 5 to 6 sessions. What I didn't realize was that simple method of me just choosing to go out there and share content. I wasn't like chat GPTing my content. I wasn't looking up stuff. I wasn't doing anything additional. I was being myself, and I was saying that I had the opportunity to do this and I'd like to share it with the world. It was as simple as that. But it was that consistent, simple effort that kept building on. So from those 2 likes of my aunt and my mother, it became 10 likes, then 20 likes, then 30 likes. And I was like, wow, people are reading my content. That is amazing. So, and I started realizing that because I was doing this very consistently. So I was focused on the fact that all my content that was going out was very specifically related to me training, me being on stage, and the kind of topics I was training on. So as much as this was not a conscious effort when I started, I then decided to make it a conscious effort. So I said, see, consistency we've anyways established. The second thing is, what do I want to be known for? If I'm going to put myself out in a public platform, I want to do this from the specific aim of people recognizing me and knowing me as somebody who delivers workshops. And I started doing this. I was still doing it within my own college, but I kept posting about this. Fast forward to 9 months later, when I get a LinkedIn message from this person from, so I went to Christ University. I went to Central Campus in Bangalore. I get a message from somebody in the Bannerghatta campus, and they're like, hey, we've been watching all that you're doing. Can you come to our campus and deliver a session for us? And that was my first realization of what a powerful tool a brand is. I was consistently posting about me delivering sessions and me doing this for so long. But unconsciously, I was building that brand for myself because everybody out there who was watching me, for them in their brains now, Sneha is somebody who goes up on stage and delivers training sessions on, say, 5 topics: networking, LinkedIn, personal branding, storytelling, whatever. Now that this brand is established and they started looking at my content, they realized that it's something they can reach out to me for. And that's how I realized how powerful this tool was and how important it was that the brand was being established. A couple of months ago, like I was traveling and I was doing a couple of things, and I did not post on LinkedIn for about 2 months. The next time I showed up at a conference, people asked me, hey, are you not doing sessions anymore? Are you not delivering master classes? And that was there for me. I said, wow, the brand recall, the fact that your network actually remembers you for who you are. And that brand that has gotten established is so strong in people's minds that they consistently associate you with that. So all of these pictures that you see over here, they've all solely happened because of that brand presence. It was one conscious decision to say, okay, I'm going to put myself out in a public platform. I'm going to understand that for me, I want people to know me as a person who delivers training sessions and who likes doing this, who enjoys being on stage and absolutely loves impacting people. That message went out. Opportunities automatically came their way, and the brand called Sneha Ganesh as a communication trainer, that's how it got built. Solely through the content that I was writing, nothing else. And one thing led to another. I started delivering sessions eventually at various other colleges, not just in Bangalore, but even so the one you see right on top is a college in Rajasthan, Modi University, to starting to do corporate trainings and training as part of leadership development programs at various corporates, to eventually getting onto the TEDx stage. All of this entire journey was enabled through the creation of my brand, the brand that came into existence because of my voice, which I put out there through my content on LinkedIn. So it's very simple when we have to look at how we have to start it. And I'll break this down for you. It does not have to be very complicated. Start creating content today. If you've not done it, if you're overthinking it, if you're probably like posting once in a month, or if you're unsure, it's okay. Start creating content. Take this summit today as your sign. It's a new year, it's your sign to start something new. So use this opportunity, start creating content. The rule is simple. If you're standing across from a person and having a conversation, what will you say and how will you say it? Make that content sound exactly like that. There is nothing more. It does not have to be fancy. All it has to do is reflect who you are. So if you were going to have a conversation with a person on WhatsApp or written, of course, don't make it very slangy. Make it sound professional, but do not overthink the content. If there's something you want to share with the person who's standing across from you and you're talking to them about it, it's the same voice that you need to retain as you're writing your content on LinkedIn and putting it out there in written format. That's it. It's a conversation. Eventually, as you keep doing it, you will start becoming memorable. And how? 3 rules. If you don't take away anything else from here today, take these 3 things away. It's what's going to take your LinkedIn game up. First thing, identify your niche. Your content, whatever you're writing, what space is it going to be on? For me, my niche was the fact that I wanted to be recognized as somebody who is a trainer. And all of my content always focuses on that, irrespective of what I'm saying. I could be talking about something that I attended, takeaways from somewhere, something I did on my own, something I listened to, something I read, could be anything. But irrespective of what I'm doing, tie it back to the niche. Because people, when you're talking about, say, 20 things, it's difficult for them to remember, ki, acha, she does this also, that also. Who is she? What is her brand? So don't let dilution happen. Identify your niche, identify 1 to 2 core topics or core areas you want to focus on. Stick to that and make sure that your content is written with regards to that niche. The second, always show up authentically. I've read enough posts that I know for a fact that Gemini and ChatGPT, it's not that hard. We're all using AI today. The second we go up on that platform, everybody now understands that, oh, acha, this person has just put a bunch of like keywords, has put a prompt in the AI engine, put their post up. That's not how it works. If you're trying to build a brand through your content, the most important thing is that people listen to you, not an AI version of you. So make sure that your content defines your voice. The way you would speak is how the way you should write, and hence you should write, not make AI write. So in this world of AI, choose to show up as you. And the third thing, the most important, I'm pretty sure, like, even if you don't remember these other things, you'll remember the story and the pictures that I had on the previous slide. Because all of us are naturally tuned to be storytellers. We've grown up listening to stories from our parents and our grandparents. The most fondest memories that we have are all stories. So make it sound simple and like a story, because when people start reading stories, people start reading examples, they're naturally going to be able to connect with you better. They're naturally going to want to look forward to your content. And that is very helpful for your brand, because what is a brand if not for something that people consistently remember and recall? When a person takes your name, what's the first thing they remember? That is all you have to ask. So make your content sound flowy, make it sound authentic, keep it stuck to a niche, and keep your language as story-like and as example-driven, not very, whatever you're writing, try to tie it down to something that makes it recall easier. And keep at it. I know that it's not easy. I know there is so much of content out there. Every morning we open our feed and there is so much that's there. And you're just like, wow, there's like 100,000 posts on the platform already. Why should I add one more to it? It's okay. Add that one more to it. I want to see that one more that you're adding. There's going to be somebody else there who wants to see that one more that you're adding. And that way, people will keep adding to your network. That consistency is important. Keep at it because your brand grows with you. It's like a baby. You can't just give it milk one day and then say, Acha ho gaya tumhara. It's not going to grow up, it'll start crying. So you'll have to give it milk, and then from milk, you'll have to give it rice and then vegetables, and then one fine day, you'll have to give it brownies and pizzas also. It will ask you. So you will have to keep that brand growing with you. It's important. So consistency is the key. And we already know that it's such an overpopulated, stimulated market out there. So if you're not consistent, it's not too hard to be forgotten. And we don't want that. Brands that are forgotten are hardly the ones that people are ever going to come back to referring. So make sure that you keep at it every day. Do something small. You don't have to do big things. Start small, have conversations with your virtual network, be authentic, show up consistently. Your brand will get built. Your content is extremely important to build that brand of yours. So that's what I had in store for all of you today. I've put up my LinkedIn QR for all of you to connect. You've also got the URLs. I will be on the call as part of the summit through the rest of the day. If you have any questions, I'm happy to take them. I hope this was useful. I hope you all had something to take away from here. But if nothing else, I hope this did inspire you to start writing. And if you're looking for ideas for content, we'll have like a 4-hour summit here. I told you, make sure that you take pictures. There's going to be tons of key takeaways, at least 2 things from every person's conversation here. Go ahead and make a post. Trust me, one, you're going to cause a lot of FOMO. Like, people are really just sad they didn't make it to this summit. And there's always going to be somebody learning something. So thank you so much. And with that, back to Meenakshi.
Thank you, Sneha. It was very, very powerful and inspiring. We do have some questions for you in the chat. I'll just bring it up one by one. So, first question, Hira is asking, do we need to be good with writing and comfortable showing up on stage to be able to build one's brand?
Absolutely not. For me, my brand was showing up on stage. People's brands can be anything. People's brands can be the fact that they are extremely good at technical writing. People's brands can be the fact that they are building another brand outside of this. They could be entrepreneurs. They could be the fact that they're learning something new with AI and want to talk about it. People's brands could be anything. You just have to be confident about showing up with your own authentic voice on LinkedIn. That's all you have to be confident about, and that'll come with time. So I don't think it's important for you to be able to show up on stage. All you have to do is show up on LinkedIn.
Thank you. And Sanvi has question, what should I write about? This is exactly what is holding me back.
Okay, so those 3 things that we spoke about are where you can start. What you have to write about, I think, identify your niche. What is it that you want people to remember you by? It could be something you're learning. It could be something you're doing. It could be something you want to talk about. It could be something you want your network to be connecting with you for. If you're looking for, say, opportunities, you could, in the space of XYZ, you could talk about it. If you are a learner, an avid someone who's passionate about a topic, start producing content about the topic. Fellow learners will start connecting with you, and that network will build. Likewise, there's going to be a lot of things. And if you're looking for anywhere to start, this summit is your place to start. Start with takeaways. All of us have something new we're reading, something new we're watching, some conversation we're listening to, something that happened at work, something happening every day. I've seen posts about people having interactions with people at home, which triggered a line of thought for them. So all you have to do is keep a conscious watch. Like I said, stories make for the best content. So there's something that you happen to watch here, listen around you, spin up a story, tie it down to your niche, put it out there. That's what it takes. And for starters, you've got the summit and all the takeaways from here.
Thank you. That was very nice. And next we have Priyanka's question. She's asking, you said you are 23. At what age did you deliver your first session? Not the technical stuff at college, but speaking about networking, personal branding, and etc.
So I think I started when I was in college. I did not do technical sessions in college. I started off entirely by doing placement trainings when I was in college. So I used to train on LinkedIn, resume writing, group discussions, and how to prepare yourself for interviews. So I was sitting for placements, and at the same time, I was training my batchmates. So that's when I started. I think I started when I think I was 19 or 20 when I started. Been doing it for 4 years now. So yeah. I was 19, 20 when I started.
Great, great. I think you're way ahead all of us.
No, I mean, honestly, I gave you my age only to tell you there is no age barrier, there is no time. If you haven't started till now, you start today. If you are thinking that, oh, I'm too young, doesn't matter. You still start today. Like, there is no age barrier.
True, true. Okay, so next up we have Marikani's question. Only when milestones or achievement at work, I'm posting, not posting anything that what I think, what would be my starting point. And he's saying that he thinks you're answering his question, but anything else you would like to add?
So largely, I understand the question summarizes to be that the fact that they're only posting achievements, but what else can they post, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so like I think we spoke about it through the session and all the previous questions. I'm assuming they did answer, but to reiterate in a crisp form, you don't have to just share achievements. Your achievements will eventually come out as one thing. If you're building content and you're building a brand, people want to know how you got there. So the journey also matters. So don't just share the one day I woke up and hey, I did it. What's also important is how I got there. Talk about the successes, the failures, the roadblocks, talk about all of it. Talk about the learnings that you had, talk about who inspired you, who your mentors were, things that you read which sparked a thought in your brain, could be anything. Talk about the entire journey, not just the achievement, because that's what makes it a lot more authentic. People get to connect with the real you.
Yeah, true. We have question from Abha. How does individual personality type affect the content you post? Does it even matter how much is too much or too less? How do you decide?
All right. So, in terms of personality types, right? I think one thing that it will very definitively talk about in your brand is your voice, how you choose to show up, your tone, the kind of words that you're using, the way you structure your content. If you look at my content, usually it is structured in a particular manner. If you pick up any 4 or 5 of my posts, you will notice that consistent manner in which I choose to tone down the way I write. So your personality type does not have to affect the way it does, but if you choose to reflect it. So usually my personality type is one that is with a lot of energy. But that doesn't mean I'm going to go all out and sound crazy on LinkedIn. I probably sound crazy here, but that's just me in general. But like I would not sound crazy on LinkedIn. So your personality type usually defines your voice and your tone, but it also depends on whether you choose to showcase that or not. It's on you. Like I said, you're showcasing your authentic self. So the way you choose to put yourself out there is entirely dependent on you. Do not fake it. That's not needed. Do not AI it. Do not fake it. That's very important.
Yeah, that's true. Another question. How do you let go of the fact that what will I be judged as?
I'll tell you the easiest way. It's gonna sound a little rude, but there's too much content out there, yeah. Like people don't have time to sit and judge everybody's content. It's okay. So somebody out there is always gonna have a problem with us. And I think I realized that at 23, 100% you all have already realized this. Someone's always gonna have an issue with something you're saying or something you're doing. So let it go. It's okay. And I mean, a lot of it is in our brain. I think when I started writing content, I was so scared. And then eventually I just went back and looked at the metrics and I was like, wait, my post had like what, 100 impressions? 100 people saw it, 2 people liked it. If they judged, I don't care. I don't even know who those 100 impressions were. So it does not matter. You're out there because you want to sit and you want to put your authentic voice outside there. Your brand is going to get created for the people who care to listen to your brand. And the ones who don't, it doesn't matter. And remember, the world is overcrowded. The ones who are judging do not have to be a part of the network.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. There's a big world out there. Don't care about everyone. So yeah. So next we have Vijay Lakshmi's. She says obviously your session was energetic, inspiring, and all that. But question she has is how important it is to be active in others' LinkedIn post. How do you manage your time along with the mainstream work?
Got it. So, extremely important. One word answer. If you're choosing to show up over there, your brand is built through a lot of your interactions, not just what you're posting, because your brand is also built through the network that you're building. So, it is extremely important for you to constantly show up and engage and interact with people also, because that's when people know that you're actually there. Otherwise, people are going to forget. If your post goes up, say at like what 10 a.m., 11 a.m. on a usual day, people come, react, you respond, that's about it. It's important for you to keep showing up for your network, keep showing up with their content, on their achievements, the stuff that they're sharing, just so that the brand recall continues to build. And so people actually know that you exist. In terms of balancing time, I think it comes down to prioritizing. Is this something that's important to you? If it's something that's important to you, you will always find time for it. The way I do it, I've set up about 10 minutes at 4 different points in my day. And I look at it. I look at my lunch break at work. I look at it when I'm traveling in the metro to work, on my way back from work in the metro. And sometimes when I wake up, like I used to open Instagram first. Now I open LinkedIn first. It's just become that. So you set yourself those priorities. There is no set rule. I just told you what I do, but you don't have to do that. What's important is that you prioritize. Make this something you want to do on a daily basis. Like you will, if you want to, like, say, go out somewhere, you want to watch a show on Netflix, you will prioritize it. So make this also a priority. The second it gets onto that calendar task list of yours, it will automatically become something you do regularly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We have a lot of questions coming in. I hope you're not
Do we
tired.
want to take all of them now, or I'm not very sure how we're doing on time. So do we have time to take a few more questions? Okay,
Yes,
I see
we do
Shilpa saying
have.
we can take more. Great, let's take more.
Yes. Yeah. So another question is I'm posting quite consistently since last few months, text, videos, both
Okay.
types. What can I do to increase views and engagement?
All right. So there are a few things. Of course, this is a very specific question. If there's something very specific that you want to tackle, you can always reach out offline. Drop me a note on LinkedIn. We can always connect. I do a lot of one-on-one sessions. We can always look at that separately. But broadly, to look at increasing the way people are looking at it. It all depends on the kind of content that you have. And people say that videos do well, or rectangle post does well, collage does well. Like I've heard all of those things. But at the end, no, it's your content that does well. It's not how you're putting it out there. It's the tone, the voice, the choice of words, and how you're writing what you're writing. So if you're looking to build engagement, probably do a little bit of an analysis on the kind of content that you're putting. Being consistent is one thing, but what is it that you're talking about consistently? Are you talking about 15 topics? Are you talking about one topic? What is the nature of the content that you're sharing? Are you sharing content that people are able to take away something from? Are you sharing content that is able to spark conversation? Are you sharing content that is enabling somebody else to learn something from you? What is the motive from your content? Is there something specific that's coming out? If not, you may want to go back to the drawing board for a couple of days and say, okay, if this is not coming out, go back, define that niche of yours, and then start writing your content in such a manner that there is an end outcome. So, all of us, when we came to the summit, the first question was, what's in it for me? Ask the same question. When you're putting something out and a person is looking at it, what's in it for them? Are they able to engage? Are they able to learn? Are they able to reach out? Is there something coming out? That's very important.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. So we have Bhamini and Kalyani kind of asking similar questions where they are
Okay.
asking how to define a niche when there's thoughts and content ideas span multiple areas. Like Bhamini has ideas, her ideas vary, daily leadership, observations, technical topics, and she struggles to tie them to a single niche. And for Kalyani, it's like she explores diverse topics based on experience, women centric initiatives, events, views, and wonders how she can choose one.
So, natural question, very human thing for all of us to face. So, I think I'll give you my own example. So, being a trainer, being on stage is not my day job. I work as a data analyst. I am a very technology person. My brain functions on logic, and that's just how I work. But and I will probably have a lot of thoughts about that. I will probably have a lot of ideas, a lot of things about that too. But for me, what I wanted to be known as on LinkedIn was a completely different version. So you will have to decide what you want to be known at. And it's okay if you want to be known at for, say, 2 to 3 things. Of course, if it's 10 things, that will not work because we all understand how brands are built. The more diluted a brand gets, the lesser the recall because there's too many touch points of people to keep up with. The world is too fast paced. People are not able to keep up. So you will have to have a very definitive 1 to 2 things that you're identifying. That being said, there's always a way to tie things down. If you're talking about, say, leadership, you're talking about observations, start tying it down to stories. A lot of these things can be woven together in stories. You can talk about daily things that you're seeing. You can talk about something you're reading. Could be a technical article, could be something. Tie all of it down to a takeaway or a final conclusion of the post, which still ties down to your brand. In that case, your brand can just be somebody who talks about, say, takeaways from day-to-day life and how that can be utilized in your professional careers. For example, that is very broad. But a person understands that when they come to your profile, they will get ideas about, say, career growth. They will get ideas about workplace tips. They can get stuff like that. That is still a very specific niche, but that is something that's coming down as a tied up whole summary of a lot of points. So you will have to sit down, reflect, and find a way to tie things down. But if they're too diverse, you will have to decide for yourself what is it that you want to be known as. When you walk into a room, virtual, real, what is the first thought that you want a person to have when they see you? And that's how you decide.
Yeah. Yeah, somewhere or
Any
other, it
question?
ties to the point is the branding. What do you want to build for
Absolutely.
yourself? Yes.
True.
Yes. I think we'll take one last question.
Sure.
Um, there are a lot of questions, and I know people are very keen to understand what, how, when to post. But we'll take one last, and people they can connect offline with you, and
Sure.
yes, get more insights on that. So
I
there's
will
a
drop
question.
the LinkedIn handle somewhere here in a bit. Like the chat is flooded for me, so I'm not going to open it. I will open it when we're done.
Is Anand and few others are kind of asking similar question where it is they want to know what to make how to make their LinkedIn account more effective. Despite having 3,700 connections, his posts, tech related or achievements, get very few likes. He's asking why does only like similar questions were there. Why does only textual content feel boring? Should we post with creative visuals? What's the ideal posting frequency on LinkedIn? And all that kind of questions that we are getting. Somewhere or other, I like we all kind of related that it's being addressed. But yes, if you want to reiterate on that.
Sure. So a lot of these are very technical kind of questions in terms of key what works, what doesn't work, very technical questions, right? And so I can answer some of these very specifically from a LinkedIn algorithm standpoint. But also let's look at it from the perspective of the summit today, from the perspective of branding and your voice and your content. Um, your LinkedIn profile is also very, very important. You could be writing fantastic content, but if your profile is not optimized, and when I say optimize, all sections of your profile have to be put together in a way, in properly. You need to have you will need to have some amount of keyword optimization that is done. So yeah, naturally, LinkedIn is also a technology tool. It will show up search results based on how optimized your profile is. So you will have to do some of these basic things. So your profile has to be a strong profile. You cannot have a profile that has like a one-line headline with like, that's just picked up from your experience being outdated or not completely updated, not good content, not having an about section, which I've seen in a lot of profiles, things like that, So you can't have a very inactive, sad, sorry kind of profile and still have like try to get your numbers up. That's not going to work. And your follower count, your connection count is not the sole determinant of how your post is going to perform. Your post will still come down to the kind of content you write. So if any of you need help in terms of like building up your LinkedIn profile or getting feedback, you can reach out separately on LinkedIn. Happy to do one-on-one reviews for you all. and we can work together on getting your profile more optimized. That is an important start point for all of us. You will have to make sure the profile looks, sounds good. That I mean, think about it, right? If somebody's going to show up on your profile and they don't have anything to take away from the profile instantly, they're probably not going to want to go ahead to read a post. So the profile has to look good. The second, again, no specific frequency, but then when you think about it, and you're actually in your initial stages of building your brand, consistency matters from a perspective that when there's so much of content, maybe at least try to show up twice a week. Try once to twice a week is a little important. So try and show up at that frequency just so that there's some kind of content that's going out. That being said, do not write random stuff. If you probably in a particular week were not able to write content, churn out something that ticks off the rest of our boxes, because we're doing this as a very specific goal-oriented thing, right? If we want to build our particular brand in a particular direction, we're doing it in this particular manner. We're getting our niche established, we're speaking authentically, we're trying to write content as interestingly as we can. So give yourself that time. But that doesn't mean that you don't show up for a month. That's also not okay. That is going to affect the brand, especially in your initial stages, because there's a higher chance of people forgetting. So while you're still working on building the recall, try to keep the frequency a little higher. Once you've established that and you have a loyal follower base and your network knows and remembers and recognizes you, then you can bring it down a little bit if you have to. But still, I will reiterate on the fact that beyond the algorithm and all of these aspects, it's the quality of your content that matters.
Thank you so much, Sneha.
Thank you.
This was a very insightful masterclass,
Thank you.
and thank you for taking up all these questions. I know
Happy
people
to
have
help.
more. So yes, please, people, please connect with Sneha and
Yes.
get your question answered. Okay, so before we head for lunch, let's welcome Chetna Joshi for some powerful insights. I'm excited to introduce